All right, here. Welcome back, world. Here we are again with another episode of Santi Speaks, and this will probably be short because my bullet point is short. I have no notes for it, but I'm talking about doing your best. Remember these little stickers of a girl washing dishes, and it's like, "Do your best." Kind of corny, but if you really think about it, like really sit back and think, like, how often do you do your best? Whether you're at work, cooking a meal, exercising, whatever you're doing, a chore, a task, focusing on your health, your diet, taking care of a loved one, being kind to others. How often do you do your best? And it's a real question because if you think about it, if you do your absolute best, like you can do your best here and there. You can't do your best on everything. Doing your best is exhausting. It'll wear you out. It takes a great deal of energy. Not only physical energy, but endurance. It takes a great deal of mental energy. And if you don't know it, if using your brain is exhausting. Like after doing a day or a night of podcasts or speeches, I'm spent. I think it's more difficult. I used to be a bodybuilder a long time ago. Strange how like how scrawny I am. Many, many years ago. I weighed over 200 pounds. I weighed like 60 pounds more than I do now. I wasn't like an Arnold, I'm not like, but I was dedicated. I was lean. And every day in the gym, I gave it my best. My diet was pure. My supplements were on time. I stretched. I did cardio, very light cardio. Definitely didn't give it my best there. I hate cardio. Thank you, Marine Corps. You run all the time in the Marines. But giving your best is very exhausting, especially mentally. If you're talking, if you're thinking, if you're engaged, if you're doing mental work, like let's say a child in high school or college, that is exhausting. You've got to take a break. You have to, your brain is a muscle essentially, and it has to relax. It can be exhausted easily. If you're stressed out, if you're number one, if you're carrying stress and anxiety, depression, mental illness, you've already approached it half spent. Your tank is already half empty. So doing things like yoga, meditation, to me, prayer is talking to God. It's spending time with God. Meditation is spending time learning to quiet your mind and listening to God, paying attention to what the Spirit is saying to you. That is prayer and meditation. And if I don't do these things, then I fall trap to mental illness, depression, anxiety, PTSD, all of these things, all of these diagnoses. I've got them all. I'm no different than anybody else, except I've stepped away from the secular world of television and movies and music. I don't care about that stuff anymore. Haven't for many years. My focus is on real people, real life, real health, and learning. I actually became a certified yoga, breathing, and meditation instructor kind of accidentally about 6 years ago. I didn't know that it was a certifiable experience. I was going for knowledge to learn it myself, to get away. And then at the end, there was a test. And apparently, I passed the test. But yeah, all these things I didn't know. I didn't know. I knew meditation. I didn't understand it, and I definitely didn't incorporate it into my life. I knew about breathing, didn't understand it, didn't incorporate it into my life other than day to day breathing. Just it's like your blood pumping. If I had to think about it all the time, I'd be dead. But these were serious experiences for me, and I learned a lot, and I've passed a lot of the information on to some people. Some people, they don't care. They have no interest in it. Like, whatever. Totally get it. Totally understand. Smoked for 20 years. Give it your best. Doing your best. If you're playing a sport, sports are usually an hour long or so, broken up into quarters or something. I don't do sports. I used to a long time ago. So I'm vaguely familiar. I'll relay my sports to fitness, working out, bodybuilding, if you will. And I can tell you I gave it my best. Because for that hour and a half, depending, I prepared for it always. Today I know what I'm working out on tomorrow. I know what I'm eating for dinner tonight, and I know what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow, and so forth. I spend my time stretching. I spend my time focused in the health world. It's too much, actually, because I focused myself only on myself. Not too much in the egotistical sense. You have to be a little bit because you have to be proud of your accomplishments. It's an individual sport. Nobody else is going to be proud of you for you. So to keep you going, you compete with yourself. You compete against your goals. It's probably one of the best sports, like running. I'm not a runner, and I don't like it. But when you are, you're competing against yourself. You're competing against time. You're competing against your goals. Not like, let's say, a basketball game that you're competing against the other team and their skill set. You're competing against yourself. If you make your goal, good job, it's on you. If you don't make your goal, maybe good job, but it was still on you. You didn't do it because maybe you stayed up too late last night, you ate junk, you didn't drink enough water, you didn't give it your best. So giving it your best is insanely important. But you can't do it all the time. Because it'll burn you out. It's exhausting. You should do it a lot. You should practice it all the time. But on different elements. Having a conversation with your children, cleaning your house one day, cutting the lawn, task at work. Because to define what is your best, your best could, take a long, long, long time, and you could get you could get too lost in it. So it's important to do your best and think about what it's like, pick your battles. What are you going to do your best on today? You're going to make sure that you read scripture, but not only read it, but invest your mind in meditation to it. And what did it really mean, and how can you apply it to life? Are you going to cook a meal? Doing your best might mean not only cooking the meal, but cleaning up. Not only washing the dishes, but putting them away. Following through, finishing your tasks. Being less engaged in the secular outside world, and being more engaged with yourself, who you are, personal growth. Doing your best, setting goals, having accomplishments, continuing to think and develop. But sometimes doing your best, it's not always possible. Like saying cut the lawn, and I see the grass in the back. So I'm like, cutting the lawn. Can't like my son cut the lawn. He didn't do very well. He did a pretty good job, but he could have done better. And I can't look at that and go, he could have done better, I could have done better, and go out there and discipline him. Because it's exhausting. You can't get all of the grass. You're going to miss a spot or two. You're not going to trim. You're not going to pull all the weeds. So this episode here isn't about telling people to do their best. More so it is, and you should do your best. But think about, what does that mean for you? What does it mean to do your best? We are so busy in these worlds with employment, education, family, health, relaxation. I think relaxation and comfort has drastically overtaken us and broken us away from doing our best. And there's different ways you can do your best. You know, I have a friend of mine who likes to eat junk food in the middle of the night. And I mean, that seems like an easy one to do your best. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you really want something that you shouldn't have, no, I'm not joking. You know, have a goal, have a plan, be prepared. Go to the refrigerator and lick a lemon. Put some salt in your mouth. Do something to distract you, disturb you, change you. What's happening there is your brain is looking for fulfillment. Your brain is looking to fill holes. Your brain is looking for excitement, enlightenment, stimulation. Whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you got up to go to the water room, to the washroom, and on the way back you pass the refrigerator and you go, I forgot about that vanilla ice cream. Well, maybe, but before you go to it, do something else to stimulate and see if you can discourage the other flavor. I mean, that's the way I used to do it. Lick a lemon. I'm not kidding. Lick a lemon, because it'll change that stimulus. It'll change that stimuli, that reaction. It's like brushing your teeth and then drinking Kool-Aid or apple juice. It's awful. You don't want the apple juice anymore because you just, whatever happened to your mouth, whatever chemicals in there from the toothpaste has made the reward taste terrible, bitter. But do things, be prepared, know what your best is, understand your best effort, understand where you are going to devote your best effort for the day. Understand that you can't devote your best effort to all aspects of life, but at the same time, you can't devote all your effort to one aspect of life all the time. You have to balance it out. Like, you can't ignore your spouse for your kids all the time. You can't ignore putting the dishes away all the time. You have to balance life out. You have to, in order to have a well-balanced life, you've got to know where your best effort is, you know? It took me a long time to be okay with that and to learn that. It's like cutting the lawn or raking leaves in the fall, you know? Today I'll do half of it, and I'll try and do half of it tomorrow, but if I can't, it's got to wait till next week. It's just the way it is. I've got a lot on my plate. I've got a lot to go through here. If the lawn's the only thing I had to worry about, then it'd be easy. But it's not. We've got many things to worry about. And you shouldn't be worried. And that's where doing your best and knowing that you've done your best comes into play. Now, if you're sitting here watching Happy Days or reruns of Sanford and Son for the 100th time, then you're not doing your best. And you should be out there doing the leaves, because you're finding way too much time in comfort, and you're finding too much time in relaxation. That is the number one killer of us. Comfort will destroy you. Comfort is not a good thing. Comfort is a reward for doing your best. In short bursts, short increments. You should not, like after somebody runs a marathon or a 5K or me to the end of the driveway. After somebody does something that is very exhausting, they usually sit down, they collapse, they start to stretch, drink a cold beverage, have a towel and wipe the sweat away. You're not supposed to sit there for the next 2 weeks. It's a 5-10 minute thing. You catch your breath and you move on. You exhaust yourself. You've done your best. You find comfort. And then you get back up and you continue. Some people find comfort in that bowl of ice cream or that spoon of ice cream at 2 a.m. Some people find comfort in finishing that ice cream at 2 a.m., the whole carton. That is not good. That is killing you. It's always interesting to look at these things and go, oh, I know I shouldn't, but yet I do. That's self-control. If you don't have self-control, who is in control? If you say it's just me here, it's just me. I'm the only one. Well, that's not true because you're arguing with yourself. There's got to be two people there. There's got to be two ideas there. There's got to be two aspects there. There's got to be two something there. There's something going on. I'm not going to eat this. Yes, I am. I'll just have a little bit. No, I can't. It's that no, I can't part that, will actually come back to haunt you after you've eaten it. Oh, I shouldn't have. Why did I do that? I don't feel good now. You should only do that so many times before you go, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I've got to find a way to fill that gap. So that is it. Do your best. Understand that you can't do your best all the time at everything. Understand what your limits are. Set realistic goals. Like maybe I won't cut the whole lawn today. Maybe I can only get the front done. Maybe I can only get the side done. Maybe I can only get, I don't know. Be realistic. And if you spend too much time in comfort, then you lose the concept of realistic. You lose the value of what is to be gained. So, anyway, that's life advice for today. Peace.